Hey, church family, as we prepare ourselves for this 24 hours of prayer, I just want you to think for a few minutes about what it means to live as the people of God in a turbulent world. If the last 18 months have been anything, it's been turbulent. Yet one of the dangers for us is that we can somehow think that we are living in unique days. We can think to ourselves, well, wow, we never expected for life to be like this. Yet when we look back through church history, we see that many of our brothers and sisters, fellow followers of Christ, have lived through extended seasons, years and years, sometimes decades of uncertainty, of trauma, of pain, of loss. And through those seasons, the amazing thing we've seen is that the church has grown and matured. One of those seasons was very early on in the life of the church, and it was when the Roman Empire came and sacked Rome. And with the sacking of Rome, the Roman soldiers did incredibly cruel things to the people who dwelled in Rome. And many of those were Christians. And as a result, Christians were looking at what had happened to them and were asking the kind of inevitable questions. Is God able to be trusted? Is God faithful? Can God protect his people? And into this trauma and into all of these questions, Augustine of Hippo, a black North African church leader who probably has had the greatest impact upon Christianity outside the apostles and the writers of the New Testament, he had many things to say to Christians that were facing uncertainty. And I just want to read you a couple of quotes, because it feels to me like even though these words are 1600 years old, it feels like the ink has only just dried on them, because they're so relevant to you and I as we're thinking about what it means to live as a Christian through such unprecedented and disruptive times. Augustine wrote this: "For as the same fire causes gold to glow brightly and chaff to smoke, and under the same flail the straw is beaten small while the grain is cleansed. And as the lees are not mixed with oil, though squeezed out of the vat by the same pressure, so the same violence of affliction proves, purges, clarifies the good, but damns, ruins, exterminates the wicked. And thus it is that in the same affliction the wicked detest God and blaspheme, while the good pray and praise." And then another quote from the same section of The City of God, this book that Augustine wrote. He said this: "The good man is neither uplifted with the good things of time, nor broken by its ills. But the wicked man, because he is corrupted by this world's happiness, feels himself punished by its unhappiness." Friends, I just want you to think about those quotes by Augustine. Augustine is helping Christians to look into this world, and he's basically saying, friends, you've got to understand that the pressures of this world, the traumas of this world, they get applied to both the good and the evil, to people who love Jesus and people who don't love Jesus. But the pressures of this world, like that kind of picture of oil, it squeezes out what is already within our hearts. And so my question to you and I is this: what has this season of pressure squeezed out of you? Has it squeezed indifference towards God? Oh, I'll get back to my kind of Christian things when life settles down. Has it squeezed indifference out of you? Has it squeezed anger towards God? God, my life was sorted, my life was all good, and now look what's happened. My life has tumbled into a chaos. Are you angry at God? Or as Augustine says, has it led to a place of joyful prayer and praise, a place of dependency upon God? Friends, I want to urge you and I, as we're thinking about this 24 hours of prayer, but more than that, as we're thinking about life in a season of disruption, I want you to think about what this season has squeezed out of you. It's not that the season has caused it in you, it's just squeezed it out of your heart. What's it squeezed out of you? And friends, I want to encourage us as we live through unsettled days. Let us become people more and more comfortable with life being a muddle, but our God being a great joy. One of the things that Augustine brought to the Christian faith was that he saw that actually in our lives we've been called to be people who are happy and glad and satisfied in God, and our hearts will always be restless until we find our rest in God. And so, friends, let me urge you to cling to God in this season. Let me urge you to lean upon him, to find him to be your greatest joy, so that in this season of uncertainty, in the pressure of this season, the things that get squeezed out will be joy in God, gladness in being the church family together, gladness that God is with us even in all of the uncertainty. And so, friends, we're not in unique days. Many of our brothers and sisters who have gone before us have faced just as pressing circumstances. And in those circumstances, maturity has been seen as they've clinged to God. So, friends, I want to urge us, let's do that through these days.